let's talk about mileage limits and how they impact your insurance. It's a common question and an important one because understanding it can save you from some potential headaches. When you sign up for an insurance policy, the premium you pay is partly based on the estimated annual mileage you provide. Insurance companies use this figure to assess risk. The more you're on the road, the higher the likelihood of an accident. So, if you're planning to drive, say, 5,000 miles a year, your insurer might offer a lower rate compared to someone driving 15,000 miles. But what happens if you go over your mileage? Here's the good news. In most cases, simply going over the limit won't automatically void your insurance. Your coverage isn't suddenly invalid if you exceed your estimate by a bit. However, it could have some consequences depending on how much you go over and your insurance company's policies. Let's break this down a bit. Generally, if you're only over by a small amount, maybe a few hundred miles or so, you probably won't see much of an impact. Insurers expect that life can be unpredictable, and some flexibility is often built into policies. But if you're consistently way over, say you estimated 5,000 miles and you're actually driving 12,000, that's a different story. Some insurers could view this as a significant change in your risk profile. And if you're ever in an accident, it could come up during a claims assessment, which might lead to higher premiums or even a potential denial of a claim. Another point to remember is how exceeding mileage can affect renewal. When your policy comes up for renewal, insurers will often ask for an updated mileage estimate. If they notice that you've been consistently driving more than your original estimate, they may adjust your premium to reflect this. That way, you're still covered, but you might end up paying a little more to account for the increased risk. So, what's the best approach? My recommendation is to be honest with your insurer. If you realize mid-year that you're going to be driving a lot more than anticipated, give them a call and update your mileage estimate. It may slightly increase your premium, but it's much better than risking issues with coverage down the line. In summary, going over your mileage won't immediately void your policy, but it can impact your premiums and potentially how a claim is handled if there's an accident. By staying proactive and keeping your insurer informed, you can avoid surprises and ensure you're always covered correctly. I hope this clears things up. And if you have more questions about mileage or anything else insurance related, feel free to ask.